This is the most current Myles's monthly Monday memo. Today is Monday, August 19th, and I've not talked to y'all for quite some time. I posted in early July. We've had a lot going on. We'll get into it. I'll roll a 12-sided die and add 1 to whatever number I roll. Can I keep it from hitting the floor like I did last time? Let's find out. That's an 8. 9 minutes. That works for me. I'd like to spend that time sharing with you. In fact, this is great. 9, 3 squared. There's 3 or so subjects that I was thinking I'd love to share with you on this beautiful Bay Area Monday. I listened to my last recording and I reflected in July that June gloom had burned away, but here we're having, I guess, what we now call Fogust in the Berkeley Hills, as our mornings frequently start with the cool, blessed misty fog that the redwood trees love so much. It makes them think they're clouds. The moisture from the fog, not exactly symbiotic, because the fog isn't alive. So hate to say that these two life forms benefit each other, but the reason redwood trees grow in this area is because the fog gives them the kind of moisture that they need. And when I walk my son to school in the morning, sometimes the fog on the redwood trees is dropping on us. The redwoods think they're clouds and they're hitting us with their fat raindrops. Since our last monthly memo, I visited Executive Associates Organization, EAO. Wise Guys signed with them to become an official preferred vendor. I was so happy to build the relationship with Victoria, the founder and CEO, who's built something really special. This partnership was the result of some new and, I think, interesting work that we've been doing under the hood as we've been working with our software and records to answer questions like, in the history of the company, what job title has hired us the most? And our first look at the data suggests EA, Executive Assistant, is the job title that is the most highly represented among the job titles of people who've hired us. So I find it's always easier to answer other people's marketing or business development problems than it is to look at your own business. But I think a lot of entrepreneurs might feel that way. Nevertheless, from a marketing perspective, the questions we're supposed to be asking are, who hires your company? And very often it turns out the answer to that is EA. And then you ask, well, where do EAs go? What do they do? What do they like? How do they think? I don't know the answers to all those. EAs are not a monolith. There's many kinds, but finding a professional organization that's dialed into this job title seemed like a great fit. And meeting Victoria and working with her as we developed the relationship that led to the vendor partnership, it supported the idea that we're looking in the right direction. I went to the Behind Every Leader Alchemy Summit at the Stanford Faculty Club at the beginning of this month. We networked, we met other vendors and members of EAO, had a chance to introduce ourselves, and we ended the program with a high-energy icebreaker event at the networking reception where they were giving out free wine, which is a great way to end a program or begin a program or, I don't know, begin a breakfast, depending on how you feel about wine. It's not my drink of choice, but I'm not into yucking someone else's yum. And the vendors who were there from Caldwell Vineyards had lots of people enjoying their wares. Today, I want to give a shout out to EAO and its members. And if you were there at the Icebreaker event, please give a shout in the comments. We played a couple of our Icebreaker games that are really simple and straightforward. The approach was, of course, I wanted people to play games and have fun, but I also wanted it to be kind of a train the trainer scenario, here are some icebreaker networking mix and mingle games that you can run yourself that don't require specialized materials, that don't have complicated directions. Heck, one of the games that I ran is called Human Treasure Hunt. And the game, I got it from a great book called The Games Bible by Lee Anderson. I recommend this book all the time, particularly to clients who don't have a budget for our services or maybe don't have any budget at all. You can get it at the library for $0 or from a local used bookstore. I use A Libris, but there are other online book retailers that'll sell you the game. In the table of contents, this game goes by the title Charles Ate a Goat Testicle in Algeria. That's what they call it. We spruced it up and changed it to Human Treasure Hunt. Rolls off the tongue a little more easily. I don't know if anybody's ever said that goat testicle rolls off the tongue easily. Again, not going to yuck anybody's yum, but I don't feel qualified to comment myself. Anyway, the thing about this game is I not only recommend it to clients, sometimes if people need help that I'm not able to support, I will send a DIY page. I've got a PDF of that's Wise Guys, original guidelines, how to run Human Treasure Hunt on your own for yourself. If that's something that you're interested in, you can reach out to me on the website or leave a comment. I'd love to help out. It's easy to run for large groups, but you can do it for as many as 20 people just by yourself with a single person. So I wanted to give a shout to EAO. A second thing that I wanted to reflect on is we're doing a Minute to Win It game tomorrow in Walnut Creek. And this was great. This was a client who hired us last year. They brought us back for a second program. And we get to do the same event, the Minute to Win It competition, one of our most popular programs for small groups, for large groups, indoors and outdoors, on-site and off-site. It's really fun and high energy. It's very participatory. It's always your turn. It's not language dependent, so it works well for international groups. It's been a gold star special Wise Guys program for a very long time. And what's fun is when a client has played it before, you can keep the structure of the game, but we swap in new and interesting stunts. And if you go on YouTube, there are a lot of Minute to Win It stunts. You can see the blueprint of how they're played. Many of them can be played with common household items, but some of them are very wasteful with materials, or messy, or potentially risky, or they don't necessarily work in a big room where everybody's playing all at once. There's so many reasons to nix a Minute to Win It stunt. It just makes me really grateful that we've been doing this long enough that we have a great library of stunts to draw from, even for a repeat client. Okay, and with my less than a minute, I'm going to tell you something. I had a struggle this week where the kids were not yet back in school, and there's this whole rigmarole going on with the middle school that my older child is starting at. Basically, what I wanted was time where I could do my entrepreneur work, but I had to help out in my capacity as dad because my wife was going to the middle school to help get the teachers ready. There's been a whole campus switcheroo. The previous building that the middle school was in was condemned 1 week into summer vacation. It's been a lot. But, and I'm going to run out of time here, I will tell you that when I saw the work my wife did at the school, the bulletin board that she created to help the kids feel at ease getting started in a new environment that can be dysregulating or distressing, I looked at what she did, and I was really glad that I backed her up and let her do what she did. My work will be there. There's another shift you can do after the kids go to bed. But there's some ways you spend your energy. There's some art and beauty you put into the world. I made it the cover image of this monthly memo. I wouldn't have wanted to get in the way of my wife's creativity, especially because it was in support of the Longfellow Middle School. Thanks for spending this Monday memo with me. I appreciate you allowing me to go an extra 30 seconds or so.